After getting my open heart surgery at the Cleveland Clinic and testing my new capabilities with my fixed heart, you might think after all of that, I went to go live a normal life. That couldn't be the farthest from the truth. I've decided that after 1 year of getting my open heart surgery, to go and try the 5 a.m. challenge. The challenge that supposedly determines the billionaires from the average person. But between you and me, I'm actually curious on what will happen if I do it. So this is how the 7-day 5 a.m. challenge went. Day 1. I got out of bed, and after that, I immediately got on my computer. And that right there was a horrible mistake. After I got on my computer, my head started to hurt. I learned that after an hour of being up, my head doesn't hurt if I get back on my PC. I spent the next 3 hours working on my computer, getting tasks that would take me an entire day to make done in a single morning. And since I finished my work in the morning, I had nothing else to do during the day, meaning I can bring more of my work in. So the rest of the day went fine, except for around 8 o'clock I was tired, and 9 o'clock I could barely stay awake and I fell asleep in the rocking chair. Day 2. I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, went downstairs, and got in bed. That kind of disrupted my sleep a little, but I was able to get back up at 5 a.m. by rolling out of bed. So for day 2, I decided to keep the routine the same from the day prior. Wake up, drink a canteen of ice water, and go outside. I did all that for exactly day 2, and it seemed to help wake me up in the morning, drinking cold water, and going outside when it's semi-cool. So after about an hour outside, I went downstairs and got back on my computer. This time, I decided not to work on my work in the morning, but to push that off to the evening and try research in the morning. Because research is a less tasking task than photoshopping and editing. So I decided to do some research on how to do a proper morning routine when I stumbled upon meditation. Meditation takes many different forms, from sitting on the floor, closing your eyes and listening to a video, walking through nature, or working on a car. Meditation has multiple different forms. Just to relieve the brain and make it quiet, is what the article said. So I listened to the article and I was like, maybe this is something I should take up. I then decided to spend the next 9 hours researching meditation, proper meditation, poor meditation, how to do meditation, how not to do meditation, and how to not fall asleep when having meditation. Because since I was going to do the meditation in the morning, and I'm not used to waking up that early in the morning, I have a high chance possibly falling asleep. So I took all the necessary precautions. Now, after learning all day about meditation and realizing, oh wait, I got work to do, something decided that it wanted to take over the rest of my day. So after work and learning meditation at lunchtime, I decided to go in the town, help my mom and dad get dinner for everyone from McDonald's and Arby's, so that it can speed things up and we can get back home and enjoy our night. Well, the weather had other options. My parents went to Arby's and I went to McDonald's. Since we're a big family, we have to order a lot. When sitting in the drive-thru and just sitting there in the second window after being told I have to move to the second window, there were storms that were developing not too far from us. The storms were forecasted not to happen at all that day. Instead, they would happen next week. So we're sitting there at the McDonald's drive-thru. 22 minutes passed for just waiting for 6 plain cheeseburgers, 6 fries, and 2 chicken nuggets. The storm arrived. You could see it. It was moving closer and closer. It was already hitting our farm, and all the animals were not put away, and it was pouring here. That was like no other storm I have ever experienced. It moved the wrong way. It moved the opposite direction. It was going one way, decided to stop and come back towards us. And it decided that it also would like to drop hail. So after my parents left Arby's and we were stuck at McDonald's, there was a power flash in front of us. Power went out everywhere. The McDonald's had no power. The wind started to shake the truck. What did you say?
Please roll up my window. I am starting to freeze at an alarming rate.
Day 3. On day 3, my alarms and my light wake up did not wake me up. The storm from the day before reset every single alarm clock, waking me up at 5:45. The latest I've ever woken up on this challenge. Woke up, had my head hurting, and I decided, try meditation. You did the research, let's do this. So I sat down for what seemed like forever, but turns out it was just 10 minutes of sitting there relaxing with my headphones on, leaned up against the wall, relaxing. And it seemed to relax me. It was nice. It wasn't like how most people were describing it, but it's compounds over time from what I've understood. But after meditation, I went outside and just enjoyed the morning before going back downstairs around 7 o'clock and got to working on my computer. The rest of the day seemed to go well. No real hiccups or anything. But then I started to plan my day ahead. So instead of planning it that morning of the day, planning it the night before. So I had myself a plan. Day 4. On day 4, it was time to put my plan into action. I got up. I got an entire drink of my ice cold water. Sat down on the floor, did my 30 minutes of meditation, went upstairs, grabbed a peach out of the fridge, went out back, and just enjoyed the sunrise. That morning routine started to grow on me. I liked how I was doing it, and I didn't really see any issues within me doing that. There was something I started to notice on this day. I started to become a little bit more productive, and I started to get some more ideas, to the point that I started to notice more ideas than normal. Sometimes I would come up with 3 stupid ideas a day, and on that day, it seemed to be 7 stupid ideas that day. So I went through the day, and I decided I'm gonna add another thing on top of the next day routine, day 5. So I woke up, got another drink of ice cold water, but instead of sitting downstairs and listening to noise for meditation, I went upstairs, grabbed a peach out of the fridge, sat on the back of the bug for about an hour, sitting there, relaxing. Since there's multiple different forms of meditation, I wanted to try a couple of them during this week challenge. So after doing meditation for a little bit, my neighbors woke up. So when they woke up, I decided, well, I'm gonna go exercise. So that's what I did. I started to exercise, and I started to feel good. It was cold outside, so the building was nice and cool. It was peaceful and quiet. I could just watch the mist roll away. It's about 2 hours of exercising down. I went inside, and instead of taking my showers in the afternoon like I always do, I took a shower in the morning, 9-ish, and a cold shower. If you want to talk about waking you up, a cold shower will do it. So after I got my shower and the day went on and I went to go to work, my energy levels were interestingly higher than normal. I was more alert and more awake. I didn't know at the time what was causing it, so I just kept on plugging away. So after the previous day running really good, I decided I'm gonna try it again. Day 6. Woke up, got a drink of water, went outside, got my camel lawn chair, just sat outside and relaxed. After I finished my meditation, I filled my canteen up with water and went out to the building to go exercise. That day, I did it a little bit less. Instead of the 2 hours, I did an hour 45. Got done exercising, went to get in the shower, and turns out you're not supposed to set it to like the freezing cold point when you're first starting out or something like that. Some people say to do it, and some people say don't do it. But since I had surgery, whenever I would take that super cold shower, this cut would turn a deep purple and hurt after I got out of the shower. My guess is as good as yours. I don't really know why it does this. It's just super sensitive all the time. So I decided instead of setting it to the coldest temperature we got, I just set it to around the 45% mark. 100% hot, and 1% cold. But the morning routine was working. Now this time, instead of just having the peach in the morning, that's it for my breakfast, I decided that I should have cereal. Now a lot of people are gonna be mad when I say that. I ate Crave and 2 pieces of toast buttered. I left the house around 10:30-ish, went in the town, did the stuff that needed to get done, and then got on my computer. Now today was different. They were forecasting no storms. And you know how they love to say no storms, but you're most likely gonna get something. I went outside to go and get ready to leave. When you live out here for so long, you can tell just by how the outside is that you might end up getting a storm. And that day, it just felt like we were gonna get a strong storm. Called mom, told her about it. So my dad decided to have us stay home because it started to get nasty on the radar, and you could see outside when you look a certain way and it's dark, and you look the opposite direction and it's sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, you could tell that you might be in for something. I went outside and I decided to go do my exercising because you could see it. You could see the storm coming, and it was not just, a flat line. It was like this. So here's us, and there was town, and you could just see it moving like that. So basically, I was in the workout building just working out, watching the storm. Instead of being downstairs editing and working on my computer being away from the storm, I decided to go out in the building and exercise and watch the storm. So after about a few hours of exercising, about 3 hours of exercising, I noticed something about the storm. You could see a wall of dirt out in the horizon moving this direction. So I called it quits on exercising, went outside. About around the same time, my parents were heading on their way, right as the storm started to hit their shop. So they're starting to hurry up and get home, and the weather, you could look up, and you could tell the entire system was rotating. So they raced home, they got home. When it decided to start raining, raindrops, I don't know, probably that big. They were big, and you could feel them hit you. Not like a little tiny one where you could feel the cold. No, you could feel it hit you. So we ran out there, got the doors unlocked, got everything into the building. So that's when the storm decided, let's show its full potential. Wind just started blasting. The wind radar system north of us in town was reading winds upwards to 90 miles an hour. The wind was so bad here, it blew open our door and we couldn't keep it shut, so we had to chalk the door. So bad, it was blowing rain through the lock on the handle. So then we had to put paper towels around to prevent it from getting the inside wet. And the wind was also so bad that it was blowing rain upwards. And typically when it's blowing rain up, that typically means there's a inflow duct or whatever my dad called it, because that can sometimes mean tornado. The tornado didn't happen here, but it happened a few miles that way. But we dealt with the storm. We thought it was all good and it was just wind and everything. But as soon as it started to calm down here, it seemed like it was fine. And then our power went out. Our power went out after the storm passed.
Power is out, nothing is working, everything outside there is off. I can't do my work now. Please have autosave.
So we couldn't cook our food and we were left out, so we couldn't even get done with our work for the afternoon because our power got knocked out. Into town again for food. So after leaving, we might have discovered why our power got knocked out. There was a semi-wreck not too far away and it took out the power lines. Everyone was fine. It was just the trailer and everything that got damaged. When we got into town, there were lampposts down, tree branches snapped, a tree fell over, and the roots got pulled out of the ground. We never get water out here. Our river is dry. We crossed the bridge. There was water in the river. That's not normal. The roads had a lot of water on them, and it was just amazing. There was no power anywhere. These places that always were open had their flashy RGB lights on, off. Everything was off. So we headed north of town, and it was like the most weirdest thing ever. We went from this, like everything was wet, power out, and then we got to where there was power. Everything was dry. There was no water, no signs of hail, no nothing. It was dry. But we got our food, headed back home. They got the power back on, luckily. Day 7. The final day. I woke up, I got out of bed, I was so excited, and I grabbed my water. I drank some of it. I didn't drink all of it because I started choking because I was so excited. I started choking. I went upstairs, noticed that everyone was awake. So they were awake in the front room, and I didn't know if I might have woken them up, so I just tiptoed out the front door, hoping no one else noticed I was awake, and sat outside for an hour and a half this time. And after all that, I went out to the workout building and worked out for an hour. 30 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on the bike, and 15 minutes of semi-light lifting weights. Went inside, got a nice ice cold shower, I ate more crunch with toast, went to work, did everything, came back home, got back to working on my videos. And I noticed something. It was actually nice and kind of tiring, but it worked. 7 days, 5 a.m. each day. What did I think of it? Pros from it that I've noticed is that, 1, I was able to get all my work done in the morning and free up my afternoons to work on more stuff. 2, when I take a shower, skip a day, and then another shower. So after skipping a day and it was the day I needed to take a shower, I noticed something. My hair was super fluffy, when it's never fluffy. Normally that morning when I wake up on that day, my hair's super greasy. It was super fluffy and it was crazy. Third thing is that my pimples and everything seem to have reduced quite a lot. Fourth thing, when going to work out, there's no one out there and it's super cool outside. So I'm working out in a nice cool building without having to run the AC. Fifth, when you wake up at 5 a.m. and you don't check your phone until like 11, 12 o'clock, it's quite peaceful. That morning segment during the day, basically defines the rest of your day on how you're possibly going to feel. Now, time for the cons. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning before everyone else, and try not to wake them up. If you live alone, okay, there's no problem there. But if you're with someone or you have a family, the chances of waking them up and ruining their sleep schedule. For me, I learned how to tiptoe around the house on our squeaky wooden floors to prevent anyone from waking up. Couldn't figure out how to stop the squeaking door, so that's kind of the first con. Second one is if you don't get the recommended amount of sleep in the night, you're gonna feel drowsy towards the end of the day, or you just take some coffee or something. I didn't drink any coffee during this entire thing. I only drink water. No sugar beverages, nothing, just water. And that's it of the cons. The cons aren't actually that big of a deal when you look at it. For other people, it's different, but for me, the pros outweighed the cons. So if you want to try the 7-day, 5 a.m. challenge, do it. Just do it. It is, in my opinion, a really fun challenge. If you do the challenge, send me a message. I want to hear how you guys thought of it. And I hope to see you next time. See ya!